India's strides again when it comes to digital payments. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now calling for a 1-month use of UPI. Now, UPI is a success story in itself, Kartik. Everybody that we've spoken to, lots of documentaries that we have come out with in the past 1 year have only shown how UPI, its usage both in value and volume have grown tremendously. But now Prime Minister is saying use it for 1 month. Let's move further towards digital India.
So I think again, Shweta, it's fairly obvious that the ease and the convenience of using UPI, not just as consumers, but even as receivers, businesses who receive this payment. What is your investment? I mean, gone are the days. See, cash, of course, is a very different story. But I'm saying if you were to compare the digital products itself, between a UPI and let's say a point of sale machine for accepting debit credit cards, the big stores obviously have the option of both. But I think Prime Minister's message there on Mann Ki Baat, which aired yesterday, was fairly clear that UPI is something that every kirana store, every street vendor, practically anybody who's selling anything in India can. So it's completely democratized digital payments. And the Prime Minister's plea that for 1 month ditch cash completely and just go for UPI will also go some distance in telling people and making people aware who are not already aware that UPI is actually applicable, available across the board. So the plea comes at a right time also because we are just out of the festive season and the Indian economy has seen upwards of 40 billion rupees worth, 40 lakh crore rupees worth of transactions which have happened using UPI. And again, I think Prime Minister's second message in that Mann Ki Baat was also that you've ditched Chinese products and embraced Indian products, and those payments have also been made digitally, which also goes on to show that if the appetite to spend up to 40 lakh crore rupees or so in festive season is all driven through digital, then in this just starting wedding season, right, and 4 lakh weddings slated in Delhi NCR alone.
Only in Delhi
NCR. I think if we can get rid of cash and even the shadi envelopes can be Paytm transfers or Phone Pay transfers or Google Pay transfers,
carrying a QR code
or Bheem UPI transfers, then I think any sort of digital sort of use of modes available for transaction will go a long way in a lot of things. Number one, the whole black economy, which has been a perennial fight that India has been trying to fight for many years. I think 1 month of just UPI usage, you will know, hey, this is the real white money available in circulation, and this is the money on which people are paying taxes, and hence the whole legal ambit of using digital currency is one part of the story. And the other side is, of course, banking. The whole financialization of India is one story which is going to see a massive fill up. So I think PM's message urged that for 1 month ditch cash, just focus on UPI. If you're able to do that as a country, I think it paves the way for many more strides to make.
Easier said than done, come to
Why?
think of it.
Why?
I mean, I will discuss the why. Let's first quickly listen into Prime Minister.
Okay.
दूसरा साल है जब दीपावली के अवसर में कैश देकर कुछ सामान खरीदने का प्रचलन धीरे-धीरे कम होता जा रहा है। यानी अब लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा डिजिटल पेमेंट कर रहे हैं। ये भी बहुत उत्साह बढ़ाने वाला है। आप एक और काम कर सकते हैं। आप तय करिए कि 1 महीने तक आप यूपीआई से या किसी डिजिटल माध्यम से ही पेमेंट करेंगे, कैश पेमेंट नहीं करेंगे। भारत में डिजिटल क्रांति की सफलता ने इसे बिल्कुल संभव बना दिया है।
Call for UPI payment, avoid cash payments. I'll tell you why, it is difficult. It is difficult because money, physical money in hand is convenient still to a lot of people, number one. Number two, let's not forget, we are still a country with massive corruption, and corruption is only possible through, actual real currency exchange. I still have, and I hear of incidents when a traffic cop stops you. You don't want a challan, you pay him 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, they get rid of the challan and it's all settled then and there. Where do you account for when it comes to this money? They're not going to give you their UPI, QR
Shweta,
code.
those who want to hoodwink the system, those who are in any case evading the authorities looking at them and hence prefer cash as a transaction. Obviously, for them, any sort of push for UPI, for credit cards, for net banking, for debit cards is not going to happen.
Futile.
So that requires the law. That requires the law to be stringent, and that requires enough and more policing and enough and more regulations in place to be able to charge the guilty, charge the corrupt, and put them behind bars, right? But I think if you were to look at ordinary, regular citizens, people like you and me, if you want to use even the convenience of cash, I don't think it is very convenient, because how do you get your cash? You've got to visit an ATM. You've got to visit a bank. You've got to remember, to carry your debit card with you, find an ATM which is linked to your bank. So, whichever debit card you're using, find that. Otherwise, 3 transactions and beyond, you start getting charged. So, I think it still requires you allocating time. It requires you putting in effort to go and withdraw cash. Honestly, last almost, I don't know, to be frank, Shweta, I don't remember the last time I visited an ATM.
Okay.
I've had a 500 rupee note in my wallet, which thankfully doesn't have an expiry date until it gets, or unless it gets demonetized again. But
Yeah.
I've been carrying that 500 rupee note in my wallet with no avenue to spend it. And that is just this one little contingency reserve that I carry, that just in case I'm out of network, my phone is out of battery, I need to make an emergency payment somewhere, I have that cash. But otherwise, I think with UPI, there is no comparison between the convenience that UPI offers and the inconvenience that cash as a transaction commodity offers today. So if you've got network, and look at the number of smartphones that Indians have, look at the number of internet connections in India. I mean, those numbers get released month on month. Look at the growth in the telecom sector. And I think practically anybody who's out there today on the streets making a living or commuting from one place to another definitely has a smartphone and definitely has internet. These apps are free. With Jan Dhan and with other banking possibilities which have been around for a while now, almost anybody who is a metro dweller, city dweller, has a bank account. Linking that bank account to a UPI account is one SMS away.
Absolutely.
Those SMSs are pretty much built into any plan that you're buying. So there's no cost involved in any case for that SMS. And even if you're on the prepaid, I think, I don't know what the rates are today, it'll be a rupee at most, right? So that 1 rupee can link your bank account with a UPI enabled app, and you never need to visit an ATM again. And any street hawker, any vendor to any restaurant that you go to, I think UPI is available. Those little QR codes stuck to these little triangular looking plastic cards are available all over. In fact, not even that, people just slap on multiple UPI stickers on the walls of their shops. And I think there is no comparison between UPI and cash, if you ask me.
All right. And if you are convinced with Prime Minister Modi and Kartik's pitch, use UPI. I hope you're convinced. Use UPI as the mode of payment.